Yes,
Hey,
sir. Yes.
Charlie,
Mm.
we're live. We're live.
Yeah, little bit.
Aloha Friday, everybody.
It's Thursday the 18th, gang. Thursday the 18th. How you guys doing? Mel and Charlie. I'm Charlie Iona. The other guy over there joining you guys off is Mel Rapozo. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live on this beautiful day. Earlier today it was raining up in Kala Hill Town. Beautiful Ua came
It was
trickling
raining.
down from the mountains. And
Yeah.
we got some very, very important news trickling down from the Department of Health.
Well, we came on a little early so we can
Yep.
get everything set up. I still waiting. My phone is running a little slow. I don't know why. So I see us live. I don't. Oh, here we go. Now the comments. Now I can see. Oh my God. Now we get. Oh Jesus Christmas. 34 people already.
What?
How's it on a bad luck day? We're gonna, tonight what we're gonna do is it's gonna be just me and Charlie tonight, and we're gonna be talking, about everything. But what we want to do is we'll try to answer as many of your questions as possible. I know every night we have guests, and you guys pour on the questions, and we apologize, we just cannot get to them all. And so we tonight we'll try to see if we can entertain some of your questions. We'll be talking about a bunch of things today, tonight, and whatever questions you have that we can answer, we will. If you like our opinion, you'll get that too. But again, the whole premise of this show is to inform and educate, and that's what we want to do, and that's what we've been doing, and that's what we'll continue to do until this pandemic passes us by. I mean, COVID is not going to go away. I mean, COVID is not going to go away, but the pandemic will. I mean, at some point, it's going to become just another virus. But right now, here, question answered by DOH. Thank you to the person who had them contact me. Okay, cool. That's what we want to do. If we cannot answer your question, we'll definitely either get it for you or we'll send you in the right direction. So we can private forum. Yes, that's a good thing. That's what it's called. It's a private forum. So we're gonna try to catch as many. Do we go on lockdown again? I don't think we'll go on lockdown for 18 cases or one more case on Kauai, but that's something we're gonna have to wait and see how this thing plays out. But
Well,
before we go, everybody share, press the share button, share this thing. I mean, we gotta thank you guys. The last few nights, unbelievable viewership. I mean, I think last night are over 3,000 at the time we ended the show. I didn't check today, but we just appreciate you guys sharing this out with everybody. I still want to talk about no monitoring of boats in Hanalei as soon as inter-island travel is open. National Guard left, no health checks. Um, that's a good point, Makaala. And again, that we will refer that over. I will tell you this. I will tell you this. This show is watched by almost all of the leaders in the state. Um, I know the governor has his representatives watch. I know the legislators watch. We can end the show with 1,000 views and wake up in the morning with 2,000 views, meaning that between the time we shut down and the next day, 1,000 or 1,200 or 1,500 other people went and watched. So I can assure you that our legislators are watching, our decision makers are watching. A lot of people watch after the live broadcast. So hopefully we can answer as much as we can. Again, Makaala on that one. I definitely will forward that over to the EOC, and hopefully we can get somebody on top of that. Charlie and I, obviously, we're just Charlie and I. We don't have we don't have the manpower, but we will do as much as we can to get people to respond, and if necessary, even bring them on. Somebody's asking if Ige watches. I don't think Ige watches. I know there was some interest last week of him coming on the show. We haven't heard back from his office, but I know that he was very interested. At what point? What is the new start time? The new start time, if you're talking about our show, is always starts at 7. Charlie and I come on about 1:45 to just talk story, make sure all the stuff is working, because we've had we've had situations where connections were bad and we had to go reboot. So Charlie, somebody's saying that I thought you were playing at Wyola tonight. What's going on, buddy?
Well, like I told you folks, and I told I started this mission with Mel, and my commitment is to you, the viewers, and I am very fortunate to have the founding member of Papaabe Boys, Mr. Russell Welling, is filling in for me on Thursdays because I elect not to play music on Thursdays, but I will go and check in on Sundays. And again, I thank you. Music has been my life since I moved here to Kauai. But since the passing of my brother, this has taken, this has uh, evolved into a new mission for me. And it's just to get the word out. There's a lot of things we want to cover tonight. I'm really passionate about individuals who, um, again, we try to get information out. We try not to skew the report. We try not to give it a different spin because when that happens, people get confused. And Mel's going to touch about, why it's important to get transparency involved because without it, everything goes to the toilets. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the deaths. We're going to talk about some of the infection rates in the state. And again, for those of you who I keep on seeing comments that, no, this is not fear tactics. We're just taking the information and we're using it as a discussion, a talking point. Okay, that's all we're doing. How you take it, it's up to you. I, for one, I believe in numbers very, very carefully because why? I learned firsthand as a heart patient, being on a table, having my heart stop twice. The numbers were very strong that I was not supposed to survive. And then they showed me numbers of why I did survive. So that's why I believe in numbers. Okay? So that's where we're at now.
Well, first of all, Charlie, thank you very much. I know when they opened up the musical or the musicians for Kauai, that was the first thing that came to my mind was we're going to lose Charlie on Thursday nights. Uh, I never like laid a guilt trip on you. And when you told me that you were going to pass up the Thursday nights, thank you for doing that, Charlie. I mean, the show wouldn't be the same without you on. Really appreciate you sacrificing that. We all know. And if you don't, you know now that music is Charlie's life. And if you've never seen Charlie's performance, um, you won't see him on Thursdays, but you can go see him on Sundays. Make your reservations for Kalahil Steak and Ribs. If you haven't seen Wyola with Charlie, you need to do that. So get a you're gonna need a reservation because obviously with all the new restrictions, the capacity is going to be limited. But it's well worth your time. Even if you gotta wait 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, get your reservation in and on a Sunday, so you can go see Charlie and watch Wyola. It is something to see. I got to tell you, we have gone several times, my wife and I, and in fact, we will be going back on a Sunday to go. It's good music. It's a lot of laughs. Oh no, food, and it's a fun place to go. So again, if you haven't seen them perform, then please go make an effort. I know somebody just posted, why don't we take questions ahead of time? We do. If you have questions, and we often, I know Charlie, I know I speak for Charlie, we get tons of questions
Yep.
between shows. I got to tell you, hundreds. And I ain't exaggerating. And most of the time we can answer, or some of the times we got to basically send it to people who
Who knows?
can answer. But if and for us, I know it's a lot of times we get our speakers out to you folks the notice last minute, but you got to understand that the people that we try to get on the show are very very busy people, and oftentimes we got to work around their schedules, and it's tough. It's very very tough to schedule guests, and we have been blessed for 3 months now to be able to bring quality guests on this show. And I apologize, we cannot schedule them so far in advance, but we try. And if we have a common theme of questions, then we go out and look for people that can fill a show. Basically, try to keep you guys engaged for 1 hour with good quality topics. So that's kind of what it is. But yeah, if you folks have questions, a lot of you guys have our personal numbers, but the messenger works perfectly. You can do it right through Facebook. I know you all got Facebook as you watching, and just shoot us the message, and we'll definitely get back to you and try to answer as quick as we can. There was another question that popped up. Is there one or two new cases on Kauai? I'm kind of concerned now because someone posted that they saw it on the news. I didn't get a chance to watch the news tonight, but
One
uh,
case. One case.
yeah, we know from the official source, which is what we stick to, is the county press release that said we have one positive case, male resident of Kauai, and that's all I can report on because I don't know. So if you saw a newscast, let me know. Put it in the comments. I'll go look it up right now. But as far as I know, just one. But it's just one, but it's impactful because we have not had a case for so long.
Well,
And
let me kind of cover why the relationship. If you look at Kauai being, and again, we're being viewed by people throughout the entire state, and we've got some people on that come on from like Iowa, Illinois, places like that. Expats that moved away, they try to keep in contact by watching us. I'll give you an example. Just a day or two ago, we had an article about 16 friends that went out to a birthday party in an Irish pub in Florida. Okay, so a party was thrown, 16 of them, all 16 got infected. But if you read the article good, I know sometimes you read the sensationalizing portion and then you bypass the rest. If you go towards the end of the article, that particular pub, which is called Lynch's, I forget where in Florida, they have to shut down to disinfect that entire pub because that same night, aside from the 16 friends who got infected with the COVID virus, 20 others beside them got infected. So that's a total of 36 people in one night in a closed environment caught COVID. That's the reason why it's important. And using that same analogy, if you want to call it that, is take a look at Hale Nani. Okay? Hale Nani Rest Home on Oahu. You saw tonight our good friend Scott Miskovich is leading the team. Okay? They've got a problem there. Because why? They've got 11 of them infected. Okay? 7 residents, 4 staff members. And what's troubling is, I believe 4 of the residents are hospitalized. So you know it's serious. So remember, when people talk to you about herd immunity or, the percentage rates are really low, all I'm saying is, for those families who already lost a loved one, you go tell them that. Okay, go tell them that, hey, the rates are low, but their loved one is already dead. So what I'm worried about is this 4 from the rest home, if they can't kick it, then you know what the outcome may be. And we're going to pray for them to make sure that because they're hospitalized right now, okay? There's got to be a reason why they're hospitalized, because they're probably having a difficult time right now, all from one nursing home on Oahu, Hale Nani.
I saw that they're up to 12 now.
Yeah.
Up to 12.
Very spooky.
8 residents, 4 workers. They have tested everyone and they have gotten all the results back. But it's the contact tracing of those workers that go home. And I did double check while Charlie was talking. I did double check on Channel 2, KHON, Hawaii News Now, and it's all stating that there's only one case on Kauai. So if they earlier posted 2, they must have changed it. But Lizzie, I like that. We will get through this together.
Yes.
Remember, we got to take care of each other. I got to tell you, that's really what this boils down to. It's really what it boils down to, because regardless of what how many passengers come in, and remember, regardless of what the state does or doesn't do. I watched the Senate committee meeting today, and it boils down to securing the airports, how we're going to test these passengers coming in. The Dr. Sarah Park today said, she's not comfortable with the pre-testing because you could take the test today and be negative and be positive, catch them in a plane. I mean, there's so many things, but what we're looking at is what is the best things that we can do, best things that are available to make it as safe as possible. Yes, things will slide through, people will slip through the cracks, but at the end of the day, you wear your mask. You don't shake hands. You don't go kiss everybody and hug people. You keep your distance. You wash your hands. You don't touch your face. We all got to do that. I mean, I know what happens here. It's everybody's getting complacent. I see it every day. I see it every day. I see it at the line at the store. I see it everywhere I go. People not practicing the social distancing. I know today I got a call from a friend that asked me, are we still limited to only 10 people? The bottom line is this: you go to a garage party and you end up getting close to each other, and the stuff will happen. We got to be conscious of that. And now bars are open, and once you start drinking, and then you get a little more aloha, and those are the kinds of times that people become vulnerable, and we get into trouble. So as
And
more people come in,
remember always too, you just talk about drinking. While you're getting a little bit relaxed, COVID will not get drunk. He'll do his thing when you least expect it. Okay.
absolutely. Oops, Rhonda Morris. Oops, I just hugged and honey people. I think you're immune though, Rhonda. I think the virus is afraid of you. I really think the virus, like most of us, are just afraid of you. So
some people told me she get drunk just by drinking Pepsi.
you know that Rhonda never did drink. You know that she never did drink, and I know most people don't believe that, but that's true. That's pretty interesting. Rhonda is an amazing person, but she loves to hug and honey and all of that. And I think if I ever saw Rhonda, I don't think I could not hug Rhonda. So just make sure you take your test next Wednesday, Rhonda. Make sure you're safe. Okay. Oh, hey, speaking of testing, I want to again promote the Doctors of Waikiki and their efforts next week, Wednesday, coming down. We heard that we went through that whole exercise. We went through the whole exercise about the Department of Health. And, the timing is so uncanny because just a few days ago, we were told that the people of Kauai, this is not what the people of Kauai needs, this antibody testing. And I obviously didn't agree with that. Charlie didn't agree with that. 99% of you didn't agree with that. And it's so uncanny that a few days later we get a positive. We get a positive, and then this is the two topics we're going to cover tonight. The first topic, obviously, is the testing, and we'll talk about it a little later. But before we go into the testing part, I do want to talk about. I know you're reading the comments, yeah. I know Charlie reading the comments, and yeah. Anyway, we also want to talk about the positive test. We want to talk about Kauai's first positive in months, and the frustration of and Charlie mentioned it earlier, the transparency of the state of Hawaii, the Department of Health. We have been on this crusade for quite a while, and we have heard the State Department of Health for months now. They have never changed their position about testing. They have never changed their position about the unimportance of testing, and they agree. They agree that. I would agree that all of the personal things that we can do, what I just talked about, the washing hands and all of that, that's vital. You can have everybody tested, but if no one is practicing the hygiene and the safe distance and all of that, then no one's going to be protected. But the testing is vital. That every single jurisdiction in this country, every place in the world, has made it very clear that before you open up your economy, you have to have aggressive testing as well as an aggressive contact tracing program, both of which we don't have in Hawaii right now. So while I am totally disappointed that we have another case on Kauai and 18 cases throughout the state, well, 19 now, it's frustrating because we aren't doing everything that we can prior to opening up the economy. Now, we just opened up Inter Island, which wasn't as bad as opening up the mainland travel. Now, I will tell you this, and I forgot to tell you this earlier, Charlie, but I had a call today from someone that is very credible, very reliable, and in the know, that said that they had a meeting, the HLTA had a meeting with the governor this morning, and the governor made a commitment that he would open up the mainland quarantine on August 1st. I haven't verified that. I'm telling you that because a person that I consider trustworthy and again, in the know, told me that today. So I'm trying to get that confirmed, but it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen.
Let's also, on that note, let us now, let me rewind so I can give you more material to see where we can light the fuse, okay? Before this, because right now we set the shushu baby level, you know what I mean? The bug is fizzling right now. But both you and I, both were very frustrated with the Department of Health, especially the two people at the top, Anderson and Park, because they was playing this yin and yang game all the time, right? One said that the testing is only a snapshot in time. One said we didn't need it, all that. If you would have heard Park today, though, because she was questioned by the COVID committee, she says that she's against pre-testing. Okay, she's against it only because she wants the most accurate data available when the person gets here, because anything is possible, right? On the plane, coming over, this and that. So her comments were, when she was posted a question, oh, so are you against it? She goes, no, I just want it to be safe. Now she's taking a different position now. She's taking a different position. And it's a very hard position. And I'm saying, right on. You now see what we see, and that is protect the people first, right? Because if you get enough sick people over here, we're going to be known as the sick capital of the world because we're small population, right? It's easy to get plenty people sick. If that word goes out, why should visitors come here visit us? They won't get sick from us. That makes sense. So I think now she takes the position that she definitely wants it to be a safe place, which is good. I'm happy for that.
But the bottom line is nobody wants blood on their hands. You know, I mean, if you listen to the Senate committee meeting today, the COVID committee meeting, it is very clear that the decision has already been made that we are going to open up to the mainland visitors, and the health department now is trying to do whatever they believe is necessary to keep us safe. Sarah Park doesn't want the blood on her hands, and that's why all of a sudden, out of the blue, she broke the silence. She came out and said, well, if you're asking my personal opinion, she said, I'm not comfortable with pre-testing. I'm not comfortable, and that scares me because I'm not comfortable either. It's the best thing that they can do, but we still don't have processes in place. I mean, we went through that whole fiasco the other day, Charlie, at the airports about these guys coming off the plane from a connecting flight on Oahu, coming right through, no way to track them to find out if they're supposed to be on quarantine or not. How many people came through and are now out and about because they have no way of tracking them? Now, I will say this, the mayor and his team, the KEMA, Kauai Emergency Management System or agency, went down to the airport that morning when they found out that this was happening. But the night before they had planned and they came up with this green Aloha card. So what the county now is, it's a county managed screening process. It's not the state. The county went out on their own. And again, I give props to our county administration, our mayor and his team to come up with this Aloha green card or green Aloha card, whatever it is. So what we have an additional step where the county is checking the airline tickets, asking the people, where are you coming from? Now they still can lie and get through because there's no way of verifying. But again, it's still better it's still better to put that extra level of protection. But can you imagine a state of Hawaii, the Department of Transportation and the Department of Health, as well as the administration, been talking about opening up the inter-island quarantine for quite some time and could not get a process in place before that first airplane landed? That is incompetent. I think that is dereliction of duty. I think that is negligent. I think that is criminal. How can you allow this to happen without putting that systems and making sure that they work in place? That's the
You know
frustration.
what is so funny, and you know this. A lot of times in police work, you're going to execute a certain plan, right? You execute the plan that can become the most safest way to achieve your goal. You're going to serve a warrant. You make sure all the officers are safe. You make sure the people that you're serving is safe, right? And you arrest them, nobody gets hurt. You also have standby, you have a medical team standing by should something go sideways, right? You have all of these things in place, and you think about this. And even when it's not time to serve a warrant, you do a lot of these dry runs, right? It became apparent after maybe the second week already to me that these guys, they talk about, my job is, should there be an outbreak? Okay, you can have a PhD, you worry about the outbreak, but the outbreak also consists of, hey, what about if you close down one entire island? What are you going to do from there? What do you do with travelers that will come onto the island? What do you do from there? There's so many variables, and I don't think they even touched any of these areas. So it was sort of like, and they said it, that, oh, we learn as we go along. That's why it becomes frustrating.
I buy that in the first month of a pandemic. I really do. But when you think about 1 month, and when you think about learning from others, we're behind the mainland. You see, that's a good thing. We were a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks behind the mainland. So we have models that are being used, some working, some not, in other countries, in other states. It's like here in this state, this Department of Health, it's a day by day thing. They do as they go, and it's not the way to do it when we're dealing with a pandemic. And they come up with these things, and we know that the process to identify people that needs to be quarantined is not that difficult. It's not that difficult. There was a plan in place, and we talked about this the other night about the green card and the yellow card. Every person that comes through an inter-island airport needs a card, and if you're a quarantinable person, you get a green card. If you're a non-quarantinable, if you're an inter-island traveler, then you get the green card. But if you get off a plane in Honolulu and you're going to connect to another flight, you get a yellow card. Now that simple system would work. That very simple system would work. And when they get to the the outer island airport, the screeners know automatically this person needs to be quarantined, and you go off to another line. This is not difficult, and they're not doing it. And it's just disgusting when you hear of these things happening at our airport, and then you wonder why the numbers going to jump. Everybody talking about the protests and the Memorial Day. Yeah, all of that stuff is going to hurt. But these people coming off the plane are potential carriers of the virus. And it seems like we're not putting enough emphasis. We're not taking those passengers seriously, and we're letting them go. And there's much more to that. You talk about the rental cars, and you talk about the TVRs, the illegal TVRs, the Airbnbs, the underground network that allows these people to move around the state without quarantine. That's just a whole nother part. But if you catch them in the flow, you're good.
Today, okay, today's news, they blasted it several times today. 20 states already have uncontrolled rises in their COVID cases, and it's uncontrolled. They admitted today, 20 states. So one can assume that travelers are, they're coming from one of those 20 states. So you know, if we're acting a little paranoid, if you come from one state that you're having a hard time controlling your virus, I like to know if you're gonna bring some over here and share the aloha over here with that. No, it ain't gonna work that way. You know, I mean, I'm gonna sound like an okole, and I'm gonna tell you, no, you shouldn't enter, because I think that if I'm gonna welcome you into my house and you're gonna try to bring something in for hurt my wife or my grandchildren, then you gotta expect to get a couple cracks from me. That's just how it is. I mean, I'm sorry, right? But if you come in and you're completely free of anything, I'm more than welcome you. And I think that's what the bottom line is. We want to make sure that you come here, you're not here to deposit. You know, like Vegas, right? We go to Vegas to what? Deposit. We don't like come to Hawaii, go deposit what, but you don't have to, because we've got long history from Captain Cook and all of them coming over here, depositing all kinds of stuff. We were at one time was disease free. Can you imagine? Was disease free. And then all of a sudden it all came in. So that's all we're saying. We don't want nothing being deposited over here.
We just want to take care of our people, man. Take care of our family, our ohana, our kupuna, everything. You know, I mean, that's how we're built. That's how we structured. That's our DNA, and that's all we do. Lorena Mathis, I'm a Kikaha girl in Florida, Panama City. More specifically, we have free drive-through COVID-19 testing for 18 and over. Got to make an appointment for the Kiki. Understand, because the test sucks and can be scary for the kids. Free drive-through COVID-19 testing for anybody over the age of 18. Is Florida serious? Absolutely. And here on Kauai, we tried doing antibody testing and they tried to shut us down. We'll talk about that later. Talk about that. Hang on. I'm just trying to go through some of these questions because I promised I would. Contact tracing. What is contact tracing? Contact tracing is Charlie gets the virus. I'm the contact tracer. Hey, Charlie, who have you been in contact with in the last 72 hours, the last week? Where have you been? Who have you talked to? Anybody come to your house? Did you go to work? Did you stop at the store? Did you go get a cocktail? And I'm making a list of all of the people that he have come in contact with.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, Mel. You and I talked about this before. I'm going to tell you as much as I can remember, right? And if I fall short by about 40 people, that's 40 people walking around if I'm positive that I could have given it to. That's why it's important to know the number one question should be, where have you been? Okay? Where have you been? Give me a geographical area. I have been to Ross's. I have been to CVS. I have been to this. If possible, give me times and date. Okay, Wednesday, I went to go pick up my medication at CVS. Bingo. That kind of information should be told to the public that I was at CVS picking up medication at this specific time. And that way, if you were there about the same time, there's a possibility you and I went cross paths. So what are you going to do? You're going to monitor yourself, right? The first time you get itchy throat, first time you get cough, first time you get fever, you say, oh boy, something's happening. I better go get tested, right? You would do all of that. But because of all that information is cut out from the people to know, everybody's saying, hey, wait till it happens. Remember now, folks, and I'm going to say this again. My brother did that. He waited 3 days before he got tested. 3 days, running a 102 fever, 102 to 104, 3 days. Finally went in. He talked to me one day, Sunday, Monday, he was no longer talking. By the time the next weekend, he was dead. That's the reason why you got to take this serious.
Let it run its course, Charlie. We got to let it run its course. We got to build herd immunity. We got to be strong. We cannot let the virus control our lives. We got to just let it come and what do you say about that, Charlie?
What I say about that, you don't be that small percentage talking like that it affects you. Because I tell you what, if I find out that you was one of those stalkers and then you got nailed by it, I'm a very compassionate guy, but I can also be cruel and start making fun of you too. And you don't want that. You do not want that. So what I'm saying is, why don't we protect all as best as possible? Protect everyone. You know, for you folks out there that follow me daily with my little videos, I'm always giving tips about the kupunas. because really, they're defenseless. They're defenseless. They need our help. So people who really don't care, only care about themselves, you can be on carrier. You can outrun this virus. They can't. And you're willing to take the chance at depositing it on them? I don't think that's right. I do not think that's right.
Marlies is asking, and we're going back again to the testing. Marlies is asking, they did all the testing on the other islands. Why haven't done it on Kauai? And that was our biggest question, I think. And I talked about this on the show a few nights ago, where Honolulu, Maui, Lanai, Molokai, Big Island, they all have drive-through testing.
Mhm.
Dr. Miskovich does it. He does it all, and then Doctors of Waikiki does it on Oahu. You don't need a damn referral because they are the doctors. You go in there and you let them know that you have some concerns. You've been in contact with someone that was positive. You get a test. Why wasn't it done on Kauai? We don't know, and that's what Charlie and I went on the journey to go find someone that was willing to do it, and that's how we got the Doctors of Waikiki. That's how simple it is. And unfortunately, we should have done it earlier, but whatever. Better late than ever. This whole thing, this whole thing about what Charlie just talked about, and notifying the transparency so that people understand and know. And I'm getting so goddamn disgusted when people talk about HIPAA. We had a shark attack a week or two ago. Can you imagine this? This is the press release now from the government. Hey, people of Kauai, we just want to let you know we had a shark attack today. It's a male surfer, local resident, got attacked by a shark today. He was transported to the hospital for treatment.
He was attacked up in Kokie, okay?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds so stupid. It does, right? Because why would you tell the world that someone got attacked by a shark, but not tell the world where it happened? There ain't no HIPAA violation. So you get a positive COVID, and why can't the press release include if it was travel related, if this person had traveled recently? That's not HIPAA violations. Thousands of people travel every day. By someone telling you that this person traveled recently and giving you a clue of who it is. I'm just saying we need to know the general specifics. That's an oxymoron, actually. But we need to know the specifics, or you know what I'm saying. We should have the right to know at least whether it was travel related or not. And we'll see. Hopefully they will release that. Oops, Shelly is upset. Sorry, DOH can kiss my. Okay.
Well, you want to hear something even more frightening? Today, when the DOH sent out the press release, right, confirming that one case, it was a one-page release. All it said is they got one confirmed case. We are going to start an investigation. So that tells me that when the release was made, the investigation wasn't started yet. Okay? That is why people getting upset. That is why everybody starting to attend class at Google University, because we don't know what the hell is going on. So, the state, it's almost like a tickler, It's almost like putting one carrot in front of the horse. This is here. You put the carrot just so far so the horse can gallop 90 miles an hour trying to grab the carrot, and you're going on for a nice ride. And guess what happened? You fall off. You stuck to the saddle, right? You sit banging all over the place because you're trying to find out information. Just like that, you fall off the horse. You're stuck in a saddle. How do you stop the horse? Somebody got to go there, pull the plug out so the thing stops. I hope you caught that joke.
Charlie is full of jokes. So the transparency of government is so critical. And when they're not transparent, and the people, you let the people create the story. That's how the rumors start. That's how speculations start. That's how we already heard. Somebody heard that it was 2 cases.
Yeah.
I saw a post earlier that the person is from Kika. Again, we don't need to know all that. We just need to know what we need to know to keep us and our families safe. And that's where I think the state falls way, way short, way short. And that is what I think they need to step up the game. I mean, these numbers are not going to get smaller. I think, we said this a while back, Charlie, that, we talk about the second wave versus a resurgence, right? We talked about that, and uh, people are calling it a second wave. It's not a second wave. You think about the state of Hawaii has had an active case pretty much every day, at least one. There were a few days we didn't have, but for the most part, we had a positive case every day in the state. So statewide, we are nowhere finished with the first wave. So this may be a resurgence of the same virus. If Kauai was all alone, if Kauai was a state in itself, and we were able to go 2 or 3 months without an active case, then you could possibly say that this was a second wave, that someone else came, brought a new virus, and it started again. That's a second wave. I don't think the virus left Kauai. I don't think the virus ever left. I think because of the low number of testing, I think because of the fact that a lot of our people, many of you that's on this call right now, have told us that you thought you were sick, you had the symptoms, you never got the paper signed by your doctor, so you never got tested. You possibly had the virus, and you possibly infected people, and no one knows. That doesn't show up in the report. So is this a second wave? Hell no. Is this a resurgence? Absolutely. And the second wave will come, they're talking about probably in the fall, after summer. So we are far from that. I always said that we're still in the beginning, and we still haven't seen we haven't gotten the real burst of this thing. And I'm hoping this is not it. But with all the activity that has happened, think about this. Of all the activity that has happened over the last couple of weeks, with Memorial Day, graduations, the protests, and so forth, opening up of the inner island quarantine, I mean, don't you think? I'm going to share this real quick just to give everybody an idea of what it's like on the mainland. This was yesterday. This thing gets updated. We are behind in the clock. So if you look at now, it's all blank. But this was yesterday. Between yesterday and the day before, 3,700 cases in California, 3,300 in Texas, 3,200 in Florida, 2,500 in Arizona. That's a lot of cases, people. And guess what? How many of our visitors that are coming here, sneaking through the line, are from California, Texas, Florida, or Arizona? I think a lot. And that is where the concern for me is that when we start looking at these numbers, and it's scary because these people are coming to Hawaii. They are going to come here. And how many of these 187 people knew they had a virus? Was it part of contact tracing? Was it they came in contact with somebody? Did they go to a restaurant or a bar? That's the scary part, and we got to make sure that we know, so we don't put ourselves in a place that in a vulnerable position. I mean, that's all we're asking. That's not too much to ask.
Yep. Well, let us kind of venture into what we think is going to happen, because everything indicated right now, I think we talked about it before. And while we saw those cases with 15, 14, 9, that we see that decrease down to 4, right? Then all of a sudden, boing, the thing jumped up to 18. Tomorrow, going into Saturday, going to be real tall telling, because that now we're going to start venturing into our protest marchers, recent protests about 2 weeks ago, yeah? So that's going to start to manifest itself. And that's when you're going to see a bigger spike, because we know that there are a lot of people no mask on. So that's going to be interesting. And the question is going to be, how do they contact trace, that? First of all, people asking the right questions. The guy from Kauai, they're asking, was he a traveler? Good question. Okay. Did he attend church? They're asking questions like that. Did he attend the church? Was he attending any of the marches up here? All those good questions. But here's the problem, folks. You got to be savvy enough to question this person and push him until the point he give you answers. Because if he wants to be protected and not look like a doodle, he just gonna shut up and he's I cannot remember. Then what you gonna do? That's why I was very shocked when we had Dr. Berman on and I asked the question, what does it take to be a good contact tracer? She said, really, it's really, you gotta be a real good people person. I didn't know you need a bachelor's degree to be a people person. I said, I made it into a police department on a high school diploma, but I feel like I was a damn good traffic officer handling traffic deaths, traffic homicides, questioning people. Hey, how many drinks you had? Where did you come from? This and that. I mean, we all people person, but I think you want to get down to the bottom line, right? You want to get to that really tough nut to crack. So that's why it's going to take a special person. If somebody in that crowd of the marchers, you're really going to have to say, hey, do you remember who you were standing next to? Or no? Then then it's just going to come. It's going to be a big nightmare. It's going to be a big nightmare.
Yeah, I don't understand why you need a college degree to be on contact tracer. That to me was just ridiculous. I don't understand. Nothing against people with degrees, but like you, Charlie, I mean, I got my degree much later in life. I became a police officer with with a high school diploma, became a sergeant, a detective, all without a college degree. Closed many cases, and I ain't saying that to brag. I'm just saying that I'm a learner. I can learn, I can understand, and I'm coachable. That's what you got to find. You just got to find people that are interested, that are willing, and that are coachable, and you teach them, and they can go. The paper don't mean squat. It means you had an opportunity to go to college. That's all. So I was kind of surprised that was a requirement. That kind of took a lot of people out of the game, and for the love, I can understand why. I just don't. It was, somebody just posted a very important comment that I thought about in the past, but never give it serious thought until right now. As we approach the hurricane season, or as we're in the hurricane season, what happens is she asked this question, what's going to happen when we got to evacuate, God forbid we get one hurricane? How are you going to do this in one shelter? What is our capacity? I wonder if the state has figured that out. What is our capacity practicing social distancing in the event of a hurricane? If your shelter could hold 300 people, what is it with social distancing? Is it 150? Is it 125? Where do other people go? That means we got to double or maybe even triple the floor space for shelters. Thank you for that question. That is actually something I got to put some thought into. We have X amount of square footage for shelters here on Kauai, and that's not based on social distancing. So that's going to be something. Because imagine you get an infected person.
Just that thought alone, it far surpasses hospital beds. We always talk about capacity hospital beds. That scenario alone, you're going to exceed hospital beds, the numbers of hospital beds. Hospital beds is going to be nothing because you're going to have to be dealing by the hundreds, right? You're going to have to be dealing by the hundreds.
I saw today, you mentioned the hospitals, that Florida, many of the cities in Florida have maxed out their ICU beds. Done. They're full. They don't have room for any more COVID patients. That is incredible. And Florida, in the mainland, you can get somebody to another facility. Although the statistics show when you got to move a patient from one place to another, their chances of survival decrease significantly. But nonetheless, you still have an opportunity to get that patient to a neighboring state's facility. We don't have that here. We're done. We got to get in a plane and we got to fly. And if we get full in Hawaii, you're talking a 5-6 hour flight to the nearest hospital. So we have different restrictions or requirements than the mainland does. And I just don't see how this state isn't taking that. I hear the lieutenant governor, and I respect the lieutenant governor. And I see him on the show every morning with his board, and he talks about the resources. But that's not when we're having the surge. And when we have a surge, if we have a surge, now that things are opening up, what do I do? Charlie, what do we do? It'll be like New York. The stories you told me about New York.
Yeah.
It'll be like stories about Italy, where these people got to make a decision of who's gonna make it and who's not, who's gonna get the ventilator and who's not.
Yeah.
So it just seems to me, we talked about this last night, and I said, do not let the industry dictate the future or the direction of our islands. But it seems like that visitor industry is what's driving the cart. Everything that we're doing, and I understand the need to open up. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of you guys believe that we got to open up everything and let's take our chances. But when you start opening up to the mainland, then the risk increases. And if the protections don't increase proportionately, then we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose, and people gonna die. And that's, I think, what I'm afraid of. And I just don't see that interest at the State Department Health level. I don't see it. And again, we lived it a few days ago. We lived it live and in color. We saw the State Department of Health interfere with two citizens' attempts to bring testing to Kauai, and a very wonderful nonprofit organization, Malama Pono, offering their entire clinic, all of their exam rooms for free, and the State Department of Health coming down and stealing that, taking that away. We
Yep.
witnessed that live and in color, Charlie. And again, to me, that just shows that the focus of our Department of Health, the focus of this state, is really not to protect the people. It's to get this community open, get the economy running, and make those visit industry CEOs and people happy. That's the only deduction I can make. And please, somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me, be the devil's advocate, Charlie. Try. I mean, I would love to be the devil's advocate. I can't figure it out. There's no rational reason why she would do that. I'm talking about Dr. Barron.
This is my whole. This has been my whole premise of why I thought about it, and a lot of the viewers out there feel the same way. Because it almost seems like we're sold on a bill of goods, and yet some of it were good bill of goods. Okay, wearing a mask, washing up, sanitizing, and social distancing. That was a damn good bill of goods, because why? It worked. It worked. But to get we talk about herd immunity. Really, if you research on herd immunity, it kind of tells you, for statistical reasons, what it does. It shows, where the virus is. It has that it plays that out. Then we try to look at, how do we attack this virus? What do we use? Because we have no vaccine. Okay? So we kept on saying, give more testing, give more testing. Oh, but they're absolutely sure that we probably scrubbed it out. Because we saw nothing, they say, aha, we scrubbed it out. That's why we didn't have any more testing. But yet, for everyone's peace of mind, that would have been the best time when there's no activity. Do the testing. That would be the best time. Because why? Hardly anybody on the roads. We can put a lot of cars in one stadium parking lot. We can have a lot of people driving through, taking one antibody test or whatever whatever test they choose. And we could have got some results. We could have compiled that data, and we could have looked at that data and see if the person has the antibodies and the person is from the North Shore, then we can safely say they must have had the virus up at the North Shore. But we didn't have anyone hospitalized. But for data purposes, you can show it made it that far. Right now, there is nothing on the books that can show us anywhere on this island where this virus has been. Nothing. And that's the reason why she doesn't want to let this, I feel she doesn't want to let this testing to go, because it's going to open up those floodgates. Now the truth is going to come out. And guess what, folks? If I'm wrong, what's to lose? I lose out what? If I take two tests, $49.99 and $20, I lose out $69. That's it. I lose out. Because why? I'm going to pay for the test. It's not their money. It's not their resources. So they shouldn't worry about it. But wouldn't it be good to kind of give some information, say, hey, doc, look what we found out. Why? Because you never like do testing, so we did it. But like you said, to come on this poor innocent person that was giving from the heart, right, from this facility, and to get slammed really hard, shut it down. Well, proof is in the pudding.
It's people ask why is Malamapono controlled by the state? Malamapono is a nonprofit, private nonprofit.
You get
You know,
funding.
if those of you that don't know Malamapono, they do all the STD testing. They test, all our kids. I mean, they provide a service that is valuable to this island. Very, very valuable. And like I told you guys the other night, if you guys can, please contribute to Malamapono. Um, the state of Hawaii awards contracts for services that Malamapono provides, some testing services and so forth for STDs and pregnancy and all of that stuff. And they do educational programs, they do counseling programs, they do a lot of things. And because a lot of the funding does come from the state, I would not let Malamapono was and Misty at Malamapono was so devastated till today. And I didn't see her name on, so I'm gonna say this: if you guys can give Malamapono a call and just say, "Hey, Misty, man, thank you," because she really tried, and in fact, I would not allow her to put herself in a position that she was gonna get suffer some consequences, and that's kind of I'm not over with that. I'm not done with that. We will pursue that because I think what they did was, I honestly believe it's illegal. I think it's extortion. But obviously, I'm pissed off because here you have an organization that is reaching out to help. They reached out. I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me and offered, and for them to have to go through that, and all because she doesn't think Kauai residents need this right now. That all because Dr. Behrman felt, and I read her text the other night, that the residents of Kauai do not need this right now, or this is not what the residents of Kauai needs right now. Well, what, 2 days, 3 days later, oh, we got a positive test. Charlie, I saw your post. What is now the time? Is it kind of what your post said? So what, Doc, is now the time to do it? I cannot understand. Now, remember, some people are saying, well, Mel, because it's going to skew the numbers. The antibody test it's not going to get reported to the state. It's not considered a positive test for our numbers, the reporting. So it's not going to affect the numbers. Now, if you test positive on antibody and then you go and you get the swab test and you test positive, that goes over to DLS or this one will go to DLS, and you will get, if you get a positive, that is reported to the state. We will, but then again, we'll have informed a potential carrier of this virus that they're positive. So what's better? You want to look good on paper and potentially create virus passing all over this island? It's incredible. But she's adamant about this, and I just, for the life of me, cannot figure it out. Why would you be so against antibody testing, which the people have been asking for so long, and now we have an opportunity. I did want to thank DLS Diagnostic Labs as well. Donna Asher, I think she's like the regional boss. She's a boss anyway. But she reached out as well. Once she found out what was going on, she reached out to me after the call, after our show, and offered whatever the doctors of Waikiki needed, they would be there to help. So I did want to recognize Donna Asher and Diagnostic Labs, as well as, of course, Kauai Beach Resort. Kauai Beach Resort didn't even flinch. And I explained to them this potential pilikia with the Department of Health. The service to the community was more important to the Kauai Beach Resort. And tonight I'm going to be posting up a flyer. And again, we don't promote businesses on this show, but I will put up, they have a Kamaina special that they want. And, again, if you guys can, patronize the people, the businesses on this island that give back to the community. That's how we're going to get through this. We take care of people that are taking care of us. And there's many, many of you guys out there that are doing that. I just want to say for this specific example, diagnostic labs, Kauai Beach Resort, Malama Pono, and of course the doctors of Waikiki. We're going to make this happen. We are going to make this happen. And I, every day I think, am I going to get a call today from the Kauai Beach Resort telling me, sorry, Mel, no, I don't believe that's going to happen. And this testing will go on next week, Wednesday. So, and we'll talk a little bit about that as far as doctorsofwaikiki.com. People, listen, you guys register, you're going to pay the copay. If you don't have insurance, you're going to pay the $49, as Charlie said. That's including tax out of your pocket, and you'll get the test. If you have problems registering, if you have any kind of issues, call them at the doctorsofwaikiki.com. There's their number. Call them. They will help you through the registration process. But that is going to make the line flow quickly. You'll be in and out. The test is 5 minutes, and you'll be done. And you'll have some peace of mind on this COVID nonsense. So, wow, that was a lot. One more thing I want to talk about, Charlie, was you mentioned earlier about people who say, so many people recover from this virus. So many people recover. Charlie's family, obviously, the brother did not recover and he suffered. It was a painful way to go. And I know that the numbers kind of show like this is it's just a virus. Very few people die, and almost everybody recovers. And it kills me when I see the report from the state and says, oh, so many thousand people have been released from isolation. Well, that doesn't mean that those people are back to work. Doesn't mean that those people are out and about. It doesn't mean that those people are still not on oxygen. It doesn't mean that their lungs are not destroyed and damaged from the ventilators. It doesn't mean that they're all good. It means that they were released from isolation, meaning that they were released from quarantine or from isolating themselves from their families, meaning that they don't have symptoms. But the people that were released from the hospitals, I don't know if they get it, that some of these guys, the lungs get hard like rock and they cannot breathe. They'll be on oxygen for the rest of their life. They'll be on medication for the rest of their life. So the fact that you recover from COVID doesn't mean you're out running out, playing football, running around, jogging. So that's kind of a misnomer to think that just because the paper says you recovered, that you're healthy. That's not necessarily the case. And I think you know a lot about this.
We got the, we're hoping to get Alofa on the show with us. For those of you that remembered, Alofa was the construction worker that was in the ICU. He was not the bartender, not Cody, but Alofa was a different person. Honolulu construction worker, was hospitalized, I believe, 7 weeks ICU, and they performed the ECMO process, which they oxygenated his blood outside of his body and reinserted his blood back in so that he could survive, and he did. And part of the agreement was that once he could come on the air without any of his breathing apparatus that's helping him, they would be willing to do that. It's been almost 3 weeks now, but when I last checked, he's still on the breathing apparatus, and we respect that. And he's an individual that if he wanted to come on, he wanted to be able to talk, but right now he just can't. So we're gonna respect that. But that just shows you that this virus it's not like a regular flu. You don't wake up one day and like, oh man, I break the fever. Already. No. There are some lasting effects. And even the doctors who specialize in COVID will tell you, they don't know all the answers. And there are different things that are happening in different parts of the world for the recovery process of COVID. And like right now, Kauai, because we're a small population and we had small numbers involved, it's almost like complacency that happens because we have a small population. Everyone's complacent. But I think there's many of you that are watching who are very responsible and take this thing seriously. We are not asking you to be afraid. Today, I was sharing with one of the viewers because she has diabetes. She's older. She's in a high-risk category. Just keep on wearing your mask. practice social distancing, wash up when you go home, sanitize, okay? Because studies have shown now transmission, what we suspected at first was through touching surfaces because the virus can remain for so many hours, so many days on surface. That's no longer the case. It's all through the droplets and micro droplets. So that's why it's important to wear the mask. So we share this kind of information because we don't want anybody to get complacent over the matter. You can go online and look at some of the models that was generated when someone sits in a restaurant with an air conditioner blowing from a certain direction. It actually gives you the areas that will get mostly affected in that restaurant if someone was in there with no mask on. So as long as you take precautions yourself, you go to a store, you don't recognize the person's coming within your space, move away. And like driving, even though you get the right of way and you think you gotta go, no, we tell you to drive with caution because you can be right as right can be. But if you get your car banged up and all crushed up, it's all for nothing. So again, use caution. If you go into a store, you don't recognize a person, doesn't have a mask on, avoid them. Go the next aisle over. Stay away. Don't run the risk. Okay? It might be a little inconvenient. You might get a little angry, but you know what? The main thing is you stay safe. Move aside. Go to the next aisle over.
It's again, it all comes back to being taking care of yourselves, your family, and because we're not going to
Yeah.
control what the state do. We will not control. They're going to do what they're going to do. I gotta, like I said, August 1 is right around the corner. If that quarantine is lifted, we're going to see the impacts, and we gotta be careful. And I don't know how else to stress that. Uh, I did post a website for Malama Pono. It's just check the comments, you'll see it. um I'll put it on my page as well later tonight, after we're done, so you can just go there, and you can actually see what they do. They do smoking cessation, all kinds of stuff. But and then there's a little donate button if you guys want to donate. And if there's a comment section, or if you could leave a note, just say mahalo for your efforts for the COVID testing. Let her know that we appreciate her, because I want to tell you, and I hope she's not on, but she feels that she let the community down, and it is not her. I promise you, it is not her. It's so frustrating. I also put a post up there for the t-shirts. I know some of you guys are asking for t-shirts. Um, One of you posted, hey, let Kirk make some money for the shirts. You guys that ordered shirts, I know when you get the stuff, it's all done on the internet and it says Mel Rapozo. All of the Kirk is doing the shirts. He's mailing the shirts. He's doing everything. He's printing. He's doing all of that. And yes, he is. We're trying to help Kirk recover some of the revenue that he donated to us for the Hawaii Community Foundation. So that's on there as well. So if you just go check it out. If just go to my page and you'll see all the sites on there. But we got some new Kawaii Strong designs. If you haven't seen it, it is nice. It is really really nice. So you can go ahead and order them there, and get your shirts there as well. But Kirk Correa, I'm sure he's on. I haven't seen his name, but I'm sure he's on. Uh, Patronize him, and I don't know what his next design will be. Uh, I think it's gonna be Mel's Marauders, and Mel's Marauders. We go to the airport at night and we go try catch the bad guys. It's been really fun. Me and Troy, Wally, Ali. I know Troy's on. We have so much fun out there, and we're just waiting for the bad guys show up. But I think we had scare them away. I think that enough people saw that. People laughed and said, "Mel." In fact, even the mayor said, "Why are you telling them what you're gonna do?" I said, "Because deterrence is really what we wanted. We don't want no confrontation, but uh, I gotta say, me and Troy was waiting for the confrontation that night. We had them all planned. We was gonna Facebook Live them. We was gonna make them all famous, but it just didn't happen yet. But we're still not done. People are
Yep.
watching. Did the mayor support DLS with Bear? Support this? The mayor, I don't know. I
I doubt.
don't believe so. In fact, I have heard from mutual friends that the mayor did not support that. That in fact he did support us. I cannot speak for him. I'm just telling you what somebody told me. But I don't know if anybody supported her. I don't think, except for Bruce Anderson, maybe, who they're two peas in a pod. But anyway, gosh,
It's time we
maybe it
buy
will
some.
be a stakeout. Maybe it will be a stakeout. Yeah, we're gonna maybe we what we gotta do. You know, like the quarantine breakers that Angela Keen does. We can do something like that. We can make our own on Kauai and go catch all these people. Look, Shelly like joined. She get pics from Honolulu Airport and on all her flights.
Well,
Shelly's a flight attendant with a very well-known Hawaiian Airlines. Yeah, I got a question, Shelly. Um, Hawaiian Air, Hawaiian Air says they reduce their load by they're flying at 70% capacity. Um, can you do social distancing and keep a 70% passenger capacity? Is that even physically possible? Don't answer because you're gonna get fired. I just don't know. Um, oh, the little troll is back. Somebody keeps putting the angry faces. Hey, angry face, right here. Ah, Jesus Christ. Hey, any more questions, you guys? Any more questions before we head out? Tomorrow night, we're going to have Brickwood Galateria. And if you guys know
yeah,
Brickwood, he has his own radio show in Honolulu. He used to be a senator with the legislature. He's going to be talking about some Kupuna programs and our census. It'll be fun. He's a great guy.
yeah.
And then next week, guys, next week we start, and I got the schedule right here. Right here. You see all my highlight marks. This shit takes time, and it's hard work, Charlie. We gotta retire pretty soon. We gotta find some underlings to help us and schedule stuff. And
Well,
but on
somebody wants to help you with. Is it Uncle Charlie? Who does the shopping in your house? I just need a favorite color, and I'll be in touch with Mel.
oh, they like help you, not me. They're gonna just get in touch with who does the shopping in your house. I just need a favorite. Oh, Trevor. Oh, I know what she's doing. I know what she's doing. What's your favorite color, Charlie? Seriously, I know what she's doing. You're gonna love it. I promise you.
My favorite color is blue. Blue.
Okay, blue. Okay, Trevor. I'm not gonna spoil the surprise, but I know exactly what it is. So, but anyway, real quick. Monday, this is what we're gonna do. From Monday, we're gonna have all these candidates on, and we're gonna be able to hear from them and learn from them and start getting your ballots all ready. Who you gonna vote for? Monday, yeah. Mike Danduran, Addison Bulason, Luke Evslin, and Ed Justice. That's Monday. Tuesday, Jade Walale Batad, Mason Chalk, Wally Nishimura, and Felicia Cowden. Now, these guys will be on individually, 15 minutes each. 10 minutes, they can tell us what they like, and 5 minutes, we're going to bombard them with questions. So get questions. If you like them, we ask specific questions, send them to me or send them to Charlie. Wednesday, we get Richard Fukushima, Donovan Kabibi, Jackie Nelson, and Deberlin De Silva Cavero. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, we get Kipukai Koli and Rory Parker. And then on Friday, we have Aro Kanashiro. All the rest never respond yet. And we are waiting for responses from the rest. I'm not sure why they're not responding, but I sent my final requests. I'm not asking no more. They don't want to come on. They don't have to come on, but appreciate these guys that have committed. And if any of your favorites that I haven't mentioned, you might want to call them and tell them to get in touch with me ASAP, because we will fill the time with something else. We're doing this for you guys. We're not doing this for the candidates. We're doing this for you, the viewers. That's why we're doing this. We're not doing them for the candidates. Okay. All right. What else, Charles? It's about that time, my man.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you to all our viewers, especially some of you that enjoy the jokes I post every day. It's just to put a smile on your face, and I hope you enjoy it. And I will leave you with this one joke. We was over at the Sheraton Waikiki, and in the elevator there was this. Oh, where did I go?
Charlie, there you go.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Okay. Anyway, was at the Sheraton Waikiki. And on the top floor, this beautiful Samoan woman gets in. Then a couple of floors down, this Chinese woman comes in. All this perfume. I mean, whew, plenty perfume. So she looks at the Samoan woman. She tells the Samoan woman, Chanel, $150 an ounce. Okay? Elevator door closed. A couple more floors down, boom, this Japanese lady come in. The Japanese lady look at the Samoan lady. Tell the Samoan lady, white diamonds, $200 an ounce. So finally the elevator go all the way down to the lobby. The Samoan lady first. Right before she get out of the elevator, she bent over and she called on loud fuck. She look at the two ladies and she tell them, corned beef, 45 cents a pound. Okay.
Oh my God. Anyway, people asking about the info on the Kauai case. Let me tell you, as soon as we get the info, Charlie and I communicate all day long, and
Yeah,
as soon as we
get all the fireworks. Look at all the fireworks.
I know, they're dying. Most of them on the floor laughing. Because I know all of you have been in an elevator when that somebody had fought and everybody was thinking it was corned beef. But as soon as we get the information on the Kauai case, we will definitely let you guys know. Jen, the governor's race isn't for another couple of years, so we will definitely, if we're still online, we'll definitely have a governor's debate. We'll have a debate, but no more than for another 2 years. We are planning to bring the state house and Senate. We no more opposition, but we're planning on having them on as well. Information and education is the best. Somebody just posted, you thought I was running. No, I'm not running. I'm not running for anything. Tough decision. But at the end, we decided not to make room for some young blood, which I think this island needs tremendously. And I really did want to continue doing the show. Charlie's laughing his ass off.
Somebody
I didn't really want to.
Is not supposed to laugh at their own jokes. I'm sorry, my dear. I'm not a comedian this one.
But I really wanted to continue the show. I really wanted to work with Charlie. I wanted to educate, and hopefully this platform will allow all of you an opportunity after COVID passes and we get back to normal, that we can keep you guys abreast of what's going on in the local and the state level, and maybe put pressure on the decision makers to make it right for all of us. So anyway, with that, Charles.
Our good friend Cherry Cummings said, now when she gets on the elevator, she'll never look at things the same.
Oh, God. Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us. We hope you guys join us again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, Brickwood Galateria, and we'll have some fun with him as well. He don't even know how much fun it's going to be, but we're going to have some fun. Yeah. Aloha, you guys. Take care. God bless. We love you guys.
You guys, take care. Aloha.
Safe.